All right, kicking it straight off from the front page of The Guardian on the headline segment. Evelyn is here, by the way. Good morning.
Good morning, Femi. How
Yeah,
are you?
very well.
Good morning, people. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, The Guardian, amid low impact, over 174,100 new NGOs established in 4 years. Now, there is data and statistics to that. Over 5.1 million registered entities are in Nigeria. Only 20% of registered entities pay annual returns out of the 5.1 million registered. And millions of volunteers are in NGOs, and then NGOs are able to source millions of dollars in funding to support a cause. Number of registered entities in Nigeria in 2019 registered companies 91,117, business names 261,484, incorporated trustees including NGL 17,177, and in 2023, from 91,000 in 2019, it increased to 2,083,364 registered companies. Business names jumped from 261,000 in 2019 to 2,895,303, and incorporated trustees from 17,000 in 2019, it jumped geometrically to 191,278. All right, away from that, after Edo, APC vows to clinch Ondo, Anambra, and Rivers. Hmm. OK's plan to strengthen national value system in schools. All right, that's a good one. Vowing to strengthen national value system in schools, but I hope they will do the same strengthening at the highest level. The same fact themselves, cabinet members themselves, you will show national unity, yeah, especially when politics is involved. And, as they say, leadership is from the top. You are not expecting the guys downstairs, or beneath you to show solidarity, to show patriotism while you are there doing all you want to do. They should show leadership as well, especially the FEC members. And UNGA, United Nations General Assembly, Nigeria demands Security Council seats. Hmm, interesting, Evelyn. Nigeria demanding
Mm.
Security Council seat, as a top nation in Africa, that's fine. But then, how do you explain a nation battling with all we are battling with and is still demanding a Security Council seat? But then, let's see how it goes.
Mm.
High exchange rate spikes price of cooking gas by 69.15% in 1 year. All right. Let me ask you, a kg of cooking gas at your end is how much?
1,500 the last time I bought it. I'm not familiar with the recent price. So
How
probably
recent was that?
some 3 weeks ago, two
Right.
weeks ago.
Ah, all right. Here we
So
go.
how
One
much is it?
five per kg.
Yes.
Interesting. All right. And sometimes you see people complaining. It's like something is wrong with these with this cooking gas because it appears to disappear.
Mm, mm.
But then it is what it is. 69.15% increase just in a year in the price of cooking gas. I remember when we used to buy 250 naira, 300 naira, and it jumped to 400, spent like a year on 400, went to 500, and then the speed is competing with that of Usain Bolt or Sharika Jackson now. Now, EFCC, ICPC accuse lawmakers of executing constituency project through proxies. Somebody said the man is talking too much. Why are you accusing them? There is a provision of the law to go after them. By the way, lawmakers don't have immunity, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So why are you accusing them? Do you accuse Yahoo boys? Do you accuse the petty thieves? You don't. Why are you accusing legislators? In as much you have done, these, as long as you want to be patriotic at times of what we have to,
Yeah.
and of course we are, because patriotism is part of what we are making us to do what we do here every day. Some will say, for the proponents of that notion that it's like Mr. Olukoyede is talking too much, I think you want to reason with them. Why are you accusing them? Is it like, are you warning them? so that they can desist? Is there a provision for warning in the mandate of the EFCC? You see something bad that is happening, you have your what's it called, your fact, your evidence, do it thoroughly, then come after them. Now he's alleging, he's accusing. How? So that they will say no more, or what?
I think I subscribe to what you said earlier that Mr. Ola Olukoyede needs to talk less and act more. For a man of his caliber who is not just an appointee or under this administration, it chairs the EFCC, Economic Financial and Crimes Commission, and I think him talking more just proves that probably he's unaware of why he's on that seat. I remember when he first came in, he came in with so much vigor, so much energy, and people thought, okay, this may be the man that we need for the job. But obviously, in the past few months, he has shown to be one of those. So, like you said, I think Ola Olukoyede should talk less and act more.
How do you accuse? How? In as much you know there is something untoward was happening, get your fight right, even if it takes 1 or 2 years. By the time you come at them, your evidence is rock solid. It's not rocket science. Now you're accusing them, so that what will happen? They will stop it or destroy evidence. Interesting. Let's move ahead. We don't have a choice. This is our country and it must work.
Yeah, it's real.
Ministries of Finance budget mom over allegations of project duplications. This is a lot, especially we thought we've seen the last, especially those funny inclusion of some funny project into the mandates of some ministries. You see a particular ministry or agency who's supposed to have a responsibility, having a duty to carry out one project that has nothing to do with them. And now we are seeing it more and more. And then it comes to question, Evelyn, what exactly do they do at appropriation committee? At the House of Reps level, at the Senate level, what exactly do they do there? Because by the time you are seeing agency for science and something, constructing roads and then giving keke napep to some persons, you wonder, the people that sat down to listen to people's defense and then they say, oh, it's okay, go ahead with it. What exactly are they doing at that time?
Well, I think this is the time that probably CSOs should be given a chance to be part of whatever is going on. I mean, not from an observatory level, being fully, part of the different committees.
CSOs are not members of the National Assembly.
Different committees, set up by the legislative arm. Because if we really need transparency, we need an external force, so an external group to double check what these legislators are doing, really, because it shows that legislative arm is probably culpable and they will not be able to be a judge in their own case. So probably we need someone externally to come, check them, double check what they're doing.
I saw a month ago a particular agency of the government saddled with the responsibility of empowering traditional rulers. And then you are wondering, what exactly does that mean? Or teaching them peace and conflict resolution. That's GST 101 or GNS 101 in universities. Interesting. Ministries of Finance budget mom over allegations of project duplication. They should speak. We command them to speak. Nigerians spent 1.4 trillion naira on epileptic power. Discos owed 385 billion naira. All right. And here, party CSO seek INEC review of Edo governorship election result. So we'll have time more for that in the course of the program. That will be all from The Guardian.
And from The Guardian, we move over to the Punch newspaper this morning. The Punch newspaper is focusing on the Edo poll with that big, bold headline there on its front page. PDP demands fresh collation as LP Akpata alleges fraud. With a rider, INEC must abide by Section 65 of Electoral Act 2022. This is coming from the PDP chair, Damagum. And poll was a transaction, not election, says Labour Party. And, for that particular election, Labour Party came a distant third. And someone might, be asking, really, is Labour Party, does Labour Party have that moral
The
to
locals.
speak, but then they do because they
They
are a
participate, eh?
major
Yeah,
participant in
why
that
not?
particular election. But given the numbers that we have,
Yeah.
Labour Party
The
didn't
polls they
even
were able to gather,
garner
right?
up to 50,000 votes.
It doesn't matter.
But then it is what it is. They
In as
have,
much they had a candidate in
yeah, they
that
have a voice in this
election, and in
election.
a state in the southeast, number 4 has went on after court processes to become number 1, and is there hope Uzodinma? So anything can happen if actually they think they have a solid case.
That Opuzodima matter. It is well. All right, moving on. The Punch newspaper litigation claims against 6 banks near 2 trillion naira. Police probe alleged killing of 3 by Lagos teenage driver. And I think at this time we should focus on our young adults so we can continue to produce more responsible, honorable young adults, because we've had quite a number of killings, quite a number of crimes being
Such a reckless one,
perpetrated
by the way.
by
The video was
teenagers.
online, and the videos those guys took before the accident, has made its way to the social media space. And just like you said, we must rein in on young ones on how to be responsible.
Yeah.
Really.
All right. And him being a teenage driver, I don't know the age, if it's
Yeah,
up to
if he's
18,
18, that's legal.
but if it's
19,
not up to
if he has the
18.
license anyway, that's another thing.
All right. Passengers panic as plane windshield breaks in Abuja. And top corner of the Punch newspaper this morning: why FG must end petrol subsidy now, says Dangote. With the rider, FAC plans fuel tankers park for Dangote refinery to tackle congestion. National Assembly resumes today, demands a 2025 budget. Amazing. And lastly, from the Punch newspaper, Profubara LG caretaker chairman, dump PDP for APP. What is happening in Rivers State, Femi? I mean, is it that the PDP, the People's Democratic Party, isn't as powerful in that state as it used to be? If the supporters of Fubara, who are supposed to take up, or who are vying for the position of local government chairman, are opting for another party, APP. What is happening? We thought there is calm in River State, but it seems that
it's an uneasy calm.
that isn't what it is. And also, I think PDP should try as much as possible to put its house in order. A lot of people, mentioned the fact that it was one of the reasons why they lost the Edo election.
A divided house.
So if PDP really wants to be a viable opposition, I think this is the time for them to put their house in order.
And for the Fubara local government caretaker chairman dumping the PDP for the APC, some have said is intentional. It's not like pulling out of the support for Fubara, but it's like seeking another platform, in as much the structure of that party, it appears is not with the governor, so they'll feel all these people should seek for office somewhere else because they will not get the support they need from the current party. And it speaks to the kind of democracy, Some have even said it's civil rule, because this is not looking at democracy when, the soul of the party, and it's a convention that the highest, the leader of the party will be the person with the highest political office, and now the governor is in charge, but then he's still wrestling the power from his former Oga, that's what we are seeing.
And of course, that's all from the Punch newspaper this morning. Pictures there on the front page of the Punch. President Bola Tinubu presiding over the 18th meeting of the Federal Executive Council, the first in 6 weeks in Abuja. And you can see some members of his cabinet there, and of course the president also in that particular photograph. That will be all from the Punch.
All right, to the Daily Trust. The Daily Trust for today, Samoa agreement. Ombudsman asked Daily Trust to apologize. The story, the controversy that trailed the Samoa deal, the inclusions of some, some phrases that people are finding hard to really make a meaning of what it represents. And, the Daily Trust came with a particular story. And now the writer says, newspaper story inaccurate and federal government's handling poor as well. And praises complainant, respondent for voluntary submission. All right. And the ombudsman in this case, I think it's the Newspaper Publishers Association, or, one of these organizations still reigning. And, they have been asked, Daily Trust as a paper, to apologize now. All right, and bandit leader Kachala Shame killed in gang clash in Kaduna. This should be, a good news. And it's not just about him being killed. How about his subordinates, his lieutenants? All of them should be neutralized as well, so that we don't just kill the arrowhead and the other ones will flee and go and regroup somewhere else and continue the reign of terror. Alilu, was neutralized a few weeks ago. Belu Toji is still in hiding, we hope, and any other ones, that are disturbing this land, all of them, whoever they may be. And the federal government to establish National Citizens Value Brigade in schools. Interesting. National Citizens Value Brigade in schools. And conflict of interest. Conflict of interest, stalling constituency project, EFCC, ICPC. Again, conflict of interest, stalling constituency project, EFCC and ICPC. And bottom strip, 70 polio variants recorded in 14 northern states. Federal government. Such a very hard thing to believe, but this is real as well, because in 2024, that's still talking about, polio and, having 14 variants. But then we keep on fighting to have a safer and a healthier Nigeria. And top strip, Israeli strikes kill 356 in Lebanon, still on the Daily Trust for today. Israeli strikes killed 356 in Lebanon. CBN moves to replace sacked directors. CBN moves to replace sacked directors, and pastoralists allege plot to stop livestock ministry. Again, pastoralists allege plot to stop livestock ministry. All right, pastoralists, showing their concern. Okay. Well, many are saying this issue of nomadism, nomadics traveling around with their cattle, their sheep, with their animals. It's no more, fashionable. This is 2024, and science has shown that if you do the right thing, you can have much more than you are having with wandering animals as well. In as much you ranch them, put them in a place, and you give them the right thing to do. But some are saying it's their tradition, it's their culture. So we have to find a balance for those. That will be all from the front page of the uh, Daily Trust, and of course this segment for today. We take a pause right now. We'll go on this break, and as we return, we'll be heading straight and talk to Edo State and talk about democracy, the real democracy, and I've seen in Edo State what went down with the election. Just like I guess yesterday, democracy is not just about election; it's one of the pillars, you know, uh, of democracy. Meaning, election is just one of the pillars of democracy, but then it's an essential part because it's talking about power, influence, and people finding a vehicle into governance. And the processes must be clean, free, fair, and credible. We'll be back. Stay with us.